left everything behind. Hell, getting here was just the beginning. You said it would be tough to start over, but I didn't listen. You said more would follow. I thought they'd leave us alone. I was wrong. But there's no turning back. This is our land. This is our land. And I will fight for it.
The fleet's counting on you.
Jason, I'd like to welcome you back to the wonderful world of reviewing video games. How long has it been since you've been the primary, or since you've actually reviewed a video game? How long has it been? All right. Welcome everybody to Rage Select. We're reviewing Titanfall today, and Jason, why don't you take it away?
Okay.
You played this. I had Dark Souls 2 all up ins last week, so
It's like Call of Duty, but with robots.
all right. Thanks very much for coming back. You can look forward to Jason Murphy's 30-second reviews on YouTube. The YouTube channel we're starting. No. All right, so Titanfall. This has been widely highly anticipated, widely hyped up, maybe overhyped in some cases as the next big thing when it comes to online shooters.
Yes. This is, for those of you that don't know, Titanfall is online only. It is from the original team behind several of the early Call of Duties. They used to be Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward still exists, but it's gutted. It's got different insides, different organs in there. And all of those guys left a couple of years ago. And they went and Weston Zampella and his ilk, they founded Respawn Entertainment. Yep. And this is their first game to be released. It's on PS4, Xbox 360, PC, and
Is it?
It's not PS4.
No, on the PlayStation.
Sorry.
Yeah, Microsoft. They locked down that exclusivity.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Currently,
Xbox 360, PS4, and PC. No, what? Fuck. Okay, Xbox 360.
Whatever you think
Xbox
next gen
One
consoles, your brain just substitutes PlayStation 4 in there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's on the Microsoft shit.
Well, actually, as of the time this comes out, I think that they pushed back the release of the Xbox 360 version. So right now,
yeah, for like a couple of weeks. Right?
Yeah, as of recording this, so
Yeah.
this is you were specifically played the Xbox One version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good looking. It's one of those. It very much is kind of a spiritual successor to Call of Duty. In fact, to me, this seems like it could be Call of Duty 2300.
Okay.
Yeah, or 2042. Right.
Okay. Well, you mentioned there. Let's dig in a little bit on. You said it was good looking, right?
Yeah. It's a pretty game.
Tell me. I mean, like from what I've played of it, it seemed like the graphics were interesting. The art design was serviceable. It didn't exactly. It's not exactly blowing your brains out of the back of your head.
It looks good, but there's nothing really. Yeah, like you said, there's nothing really mind blowing here. It's all very much a military shooter with the trappings of maybe not the distant future, but not in the near future. It's, right. It is sci-fi, but it very much plays like a Call of Duty game.
Okay,
and the level design they're very serviceable. It's nothing too outlandish.
Okay,
it's all very workmanlike. There's a lot of like shipyard type stuff and training grounds and office buildings and stuff like that.
When I was playing it, I did notice that it seemed like they did spend some time in the art design making like we were in a level when we played on the dojo where they had like shops and it seems like a little bit. I mean, it's not just like generic insert plug. Skyscraper buildings, generic skyscraper buildings, 6,000. Like they did put a little bit of time into putting signs and stuff like that up to give the world some flavor.
It does feel. It feels quite varied in what you see when you're running around in the levels, but there's nothing in there that is like Halo level of sci-fi.
Okay,
it's a little bit behind that, but essentially what the conceit of the game is that you have two different teams, the IMC and the militia, and it's all online combat with those two versus each other, and you pick a side and. You have your loadouts that you build up and everything as you continue in levels. You unlock stuff and you can kit out your pilot and you can also kit out your Titan. Now your Titan is your mech. that you jump into, and there's a countdown, and everyone gets a mech, and the countdown is usually 2 minutes, 3 minutes,
2 or 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, depending on how well you're doing.
Okay.
So if you're kicking ass, the countdown will run much more quickly, and you'll get Titans much faster.
This is that mechanic where every time you kill another player or an AI creep, it decreases your timer a little bit.
Exactly.
So you can get your Titan faster.
Yeah, and you get your Titan faster, and as you go up in levels, you can unlock different guns. You can customize your layout, whether it's like, okay, I want to use this grenade with this gun and this other gun, and you've got your Titan killing guns, and you can hop into your Titan and pilot him around, or you can have him follow you and kick ass autonomously.
How is that? I mean, you got a chance to play more of this than I did. How is the AI on the Titans? Are they actually doing stuff, or are they just hitting their head up against the wall?
Yeah. Well, the AIs are actually they're reasonably good. The AIs are better than the creeps.
Okay.
The bots that you can kill for just a pittance of points.
Do those guys? I mean, when I played in the beta, those guys seemed like as long as you didn't leave the controller on the couch and go make a sandwich,
they're idiots.
They're never going to kill you.
Yeah, I killed so many of them just by walking up to them and snapping their necks.
Yeah,
they're just dumb.
Okay,
they're just very weak AIs. Your Titans seem to be smarter. And there are different achievements that you can unlock, different challenges where you can get more points. Like okay, your Titan autonomously killed 10 people.
Okay.
So that's your challenge, when you weren't piloting it.
Okay.
So you get lots of different challenges and stuff like that you unlock, and everything gives you points, because there are a bunch of different game modes, which we'll get to in a bit. And
let me ask you this. Did the shitty AI on the creeps, do you feel like that what negatively impacted your experience? Because it seems like having them on the map, but then having them be so stupid would be you kind of like, well, why are these even here outside of just a damage soak for...
It's what it is it seems to be that they're trying to make it more accessible for people who aren't that good, i.e. me,
right,
at killing other players. Because I'm fucking terrible at it.
Okay.
But then you've got these creeps where you can get less points than you do from killing another actual pilot.
Sure.
These bots that you can take down, but they're really stupid. And when you kill one, I'm always disappointed when I shoot somebody and I'm like, oh, it was just
one of the okay.
So you don't get many points.
Do you feel like
it's not very rewarding?
Would they? I mean, would they have been? Do you think that the game would have been better served if they had just kind of like low-level standard Call of Duty style AI guys? You at least see them running around and trying to shoot at you a little bit more instead of just being
they do try to shoot at you, but they're horribly ineffective. They're like Stormtrooper bad. I mean, they're just a bunch of idiots.
Okay.
It's like, my God, you guys are just a bunch of moron red shirts.
Let me ask you, this is a quick tangent. How much more would you pay for Titanfall if it was Star Wars and the Titans were like Imperial Walker or were like Scout Walkers instead of Titans? Would you be willing to pay $80?
There is no number.
There is no number.
There is no number.
Yeah,
of course. Put a Star Wars skin on it. That immediately ups its value to me and many other people. But yeah, it's all online, and you have two different things you can choose from when you're playing. You can play the classic mode, which is just pick your type of game, or you can do the campaign, and campaign is in quotey fingers. It's very loose.
I want to know more about this. Is there tell me about the campaign?
The campaign is like, okay, the first level is attrition, the second level is hardpoint domination. Hardpoint domination is hold this point and raise and lower the flag, a la Battlefield, right?
Okay.
And then like the second level is attrition, the third level is another hardpoint domination, and there's a story, there's a narrative that's draped over this, and if you play it from the militia, the story is very focused on the malicious perspective. If you play it from the IMF, I believe IMF, is that right?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, IMC.
Yeah,
Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. They're the empire. If you play it from the IMC,
evil corporation. Quit blowing my mind, Respawn Entertainment.
yeah. If you play it from their perspective, the story's different, and it's a two sides to every story kind of thing. But really, what it comes down to is just you're still just playing online multiplayer stuff, and they've loosely draped a narrative around it.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions. Are there like specific any kind of cutscene with characters or anything before or after a mission to give you immersion?
I don't remember any particular cutscenes, but like whenever you jump into, like, say if you're, I played the first time I played with the militia.
Okay,
and there are certain levels where characters that you had rescued in other levels show up to save your ass.
Okay.
Like, only at the very beginning, though.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the level. They show up
so
like...
they're not like AI that are in the map
like
with you.
this guy McAllen shows up, spoiler. He shows up and to... It's like you...
It seems like it really doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
Like,
you screw up your landing, and this guy shows up in a Titan, and he's like, "Come on, follow me!"
Right.
And you follow him in, and then it's just a regular match again.
Okay.
So it's like it's window dressing.
And you said that after you get done playing as the militia, or when you get done playing one side, you can actually go back through and play it from the other side's perspective?
Yes, and then when you finish that, you unlock stuff while you're doing that, and there's specific Titans that you unlock.
Okay.
You unlock...
Is that just from your experience points going up while you're playing in the map?
No, I think it's you have to play through I believe you have to play through the campaign in order to unlock this specific Titan. But it doesn't take long at all.
Like
they're very brief. Like,
give me
8 rounds, 7 rounds, something like that.
Like an hour or maybe a little bit more than
each
that?
match is usually about 15 minutes long.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let me ask you this: when they switch over to the IMC, is it the same maps that you played on? Is it just the reverse?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No,
Okay.
I only played through one of the campaigns.
Oh,
so that's
okay,
a good
okay.
question. I imagine it's the same thing with different voiceovers because the whole time you've got your
So it's just a multiplayer match plus, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
If you play through it, it's kind of a novelty. It almost feels like they felt like they had to have a campaign in there.
Uh-huh.
Even worse than Call of Duty does these days, where they put some half-ass single player.
Right.
And so they're like, I know, let's take multiplayer matches and just kind of dress them up a little bit and kind of convince people that they're getting more for their money.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I kind of feel I think it's a bit of a shame personally because like I've seen when I was thinking about this, I was thinking of something like StarCraft where they very much crafted like a custom mission where they took the gameplay elements and then did something.
Yeah,
made
this is not
more of
that.
a set piece with them. But here
No.
it sounds like it's just straight.
Yeah.
like just bookends on a multiplayer match.
And honestly, I'm curious to play through the militia again. And I'm sorry I don't know this. I should have tried this to give it a shot so I could tell you guys. But it seems like I'm curious if I were to play through the militia campaign again and lose matches that we won and win matches that we lost, if it would impact anything. If it impacts anything. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
I really don't.
Okay, well, enough of the completely inconsequential story. I think that the question that's going to be probably make or break for most people is going to be, how is the action?
It's Call of Duty.
It's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
See, I got a different impression from when I played.
I did not.
Really?
No. And you said that, and so I was optimistic because I am terrible at Call of Duty.
Right.
So I was optimistic going in, and there's a little bit more. Okay, so Battlefield, you can have that complete Call of Duty experience from playing Battlefield.
Sure.
Online, right? But you can also have I think there's more variety. It's like, you know what, I'm going to sit in a tank and I'm going to hang back here, or I'm going to sit in one of these mobile rocket launcher units.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do that. There's a little bit more of the flexibility in the play style in that vein where you can, okay, I'm gonna sit in my mech and I'm going to jump back here, and I'm just going to hang back and use my long range, like my rail gun or something like that.
Okay.
But when it comes down to it, you're still it takes you longer to die in a mech, but you're still going to have that I'm running along and bam, I'm dead experience when you're playing as the pilot. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So this very much feels like Call of Duty.
Okay, well, let me ask you...
with a little bit more added on. I do think it's pushing the envelope a little bit more, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It is expanding on what Call of Duty has failed to do over the last couple of years.
Right.
So I really feel like it is broadening that experience quite a bit. But it's nothing really. It's not redefining the genre.
Okay. What about, okay, so one of the things that I noticed when I played it was all the stuff that we talked about where you start out with like a double jump and wall running and cloaking and that sort of thing. That stuff didn't really make much of a difference to your gameplay?
It's more exciting, but when it comes down to it, it is still very much the quick twitch death. Because everyone else has that as well.
Okay.
And utilizing that, of course, can mean life or death. So you really do have to get better at that. But again, as I said, when it comes down to it, it's still running around and reacting as fast as you can.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, really a lot of video games. And I'm not selling it short. Again, fuck this game. I'm going to say that right here. Fuck it.
Why?
But it is a really good game.
Okay. Wait, sorry, you got to go back up for a second, because up until now, I haven't heard you say anything that would equate to fuck this game. Why fuck this game?
Because it grabbed me and it slapped me around, made me put on lipstick and put on a dress, and then it poked me and made fun of me.
Okay.
And then it left the money on the dresser and said, all right, we're done with you.
Titanfall made you its bitch.
Yeah, totally.
So you talked about, you were talking about dying on foot. What about in the Titan? When you get into a robot, it seems like you have more survivability there than you would have on foot.
You do,
right?
I mean, you've got a lot more health,
right?
But sometimes you'll run into, you'll get gangbanged.
Yeah,
you'll get ganged up on by. If you go up against two Titans, you're probably screwed.
Okay,
because then you also have other pilots with their Titan killer weapons,
right?
Who are hitting you, and you can't even see them because there's so much damage flying up on your screen, and you've got another Titan or two Titans or three Titans in your face.
Okay.
So your experience in a Titan can be very, very brief.
Okay.
And you also have little things like the rodeo attack, where you can jump up on someone's Titan and rip a panel off and just start blasting the panel with your machine gun.
Right.
And if you're in a Titan and someone does that to you, you have to, I think, there might be some other alternative, but I think you have to get out.
Oh, and shoot them
and
off
attack them
of your Titan.
Unless you have one of the perks activated, like electric smoke.
Okay.
Which is an electrified smoke screen that kills pilots that wander into it.
As you level up, you can create custom classes.
Yep. Like I was saying earlier.
Unlock perks.
Yeah. You unlock all sorts of perks. There's different ordinances. There's different tiers of abilities. Like if you eject from your Titan, you can make it to where you automatically cloak and eject whenever your Titan reaches doom mode.
Okay.
Which is where it's going to blow up.
Okay.
Or you can say where doom mode lasts a little longer, so you can take as many people with you as you can.
Right.
Or you can have it to where your shield regenerates faster.
Okay.
Or where when you eject from your Titan, when your Titan blows up, it goes nuclear,
right,
and takes out a bunch of people around you.
Please, Jason, we're in Texas. It's nuclear.
It goes nuclear.
Now, as from when I played, there are 3 different Titan chassis, right?
Well, you can unlock some other ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many in total would you say?
I don't know.
Okay.
But you can unlock other ones, like playing through the campaign and stuff like that. There are like the Strider Titan, which is really fast, But you start off with like your fast one, your average one, and then your slow heavy can take a lot of damage one.
Okay.
But you can unlock others. Then you can kit them out with different weapons, different abilities, different ordinances like homing missiles, rail guns, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of variety here on both the pilot level and the Titan level.
Okay.
I mean, you can really find the one that just scratches your itch on 2 different levels. Whereas, Call of Duty has where you just customize your soldier.
Sure.
With this, you can customize your soldier to the nth degree.
Yeah.
But then you have this whole other tier where you can focus on what your Titan can do.
Okay. Now, what about burn cards? Did you get to burn cards?
Yeah, your burn cards, those are little temporary buffs, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they last until you die.
Yep. That's the impression that I got.
Yeah, and you get rewarded burn cards for various things. You've played this long, so you get a burn card.
Right.
You pulled off this challenge, so you get a burn card. And those are kind of random, and it's like having a deck, and you can equip those.
You can equip up to, like, what, 3 eventually?
Well, at first you start off with 2. I got up to where you could equip 3.
Right.
And every time you're about to respawn, you can activate 1.
Okay.
If you have some, and if you've put it in a slot.
Some of them you can activate more than once, though, right?
Probably.
When we were playing in the beta, at least, that's what I saw. I'm sorry, I did,
No, you're right. No, it's like some of them make you run faster. Some of them make your a certain type of gun more lethal.
Okay.
Some of them, make you cloak longer or something like that. It's all just little temporary buffs that you don't always have activated.
Now, I guess
and if you're like me and you're dying all the time, burn cards don't mean shit because it's just like, well, I'm going to activate this and I'm going to die and it's going to be gone.
Right.
So I just quit using them.
Now it's what 6-on-6?
I think that's right.
And
then a bunch of creeps and titans and everything. So
AI Titan.
in spite of it being 6-on-6, I believe that's the number.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of it being that, the maps still feel very full.
It feels bananas. A lot of stuff going on,
like the chaos of war.
Okay,
so it doesn't feel empty.
And how many maps were there?
I want to say about 8.
Now,
maybe?
this is the question that I have for the longevity for me a lot of times of first-person shooters is that the maps seem like they're relatively small to accommodate a 6-on-6 match. They're small to medium size, shall we say? That they're not more verticality than
you don't have a lot of battlefield size maps.
Right.
There's a lot of verticality. They are small, but they don't feel small.
Okay.
There are a lot of little nooks and crannies and passageways. That's one thing I was noticing while I was playing is that the maps are very well designed. Mm-hmm. There are some cul-de-sacs, but there's a lot of ways there are usually various ways to get to any particular arena.
Okay.
A lot of people may think that designing a multiplayer map is easy, but it's not. These are all... There's a symmetry to these.
Yeah.
That is just almost profound.
Yeah.
To where there's no place where you're going to go and hide and just be
and feel safe.
Yeah. There's a lot of little tunnels and warrens and stuff like that. But there's nowhere where you feel completely removed from the battle.
Okay.
So it feels like there's a lot going on there. It's just this tangled nest of this tangled nest of tunnels. And there are also other things that, like if you're doing a map, you can control some of the turrets. Mm-hmm. And so you run up and you jack into the turrets with your hack knife, basically.
Why don't they stab people with the hack knife?
I know, that never
really
happens. It doesn't make any sense.
When you melee attack people, you're jump kicking them. I'm like, you've got a perfectly good knife, but apparently in the future, knives are only used for hacking computer terminals.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. The maps are very well designed.
Now, I guess the where I was going with that is that it seems like with a relatively small number of maps being relatively medium to small size, that you could get fatigue a little bit earlier on the individual maps. Like, did you ever get tired of
I really
a specific
didn't.
map? No?
I really didn't, because a lot of times you can find... stuff that you haven't experienced, like let's try this strategy, let's try staying low, or there's towers in some of them, let's try getting up into that tower, which can really test your ability to do wall running and your double jumping. There was this one map where there's this large tower in it and there were snipers up there, and I kept trying to get up there. And I couldn't get up there before they took me out. Mm-hmm. And so when I finally got my Titan, I just started launching ordnance up there. I was like, I'll clean that motherfucker out.
Something's gonna happen here, one way or the other.
And so it didn't feel like any particular strategy was an unfair advantage. They're very well balanced, well designed maps, even if they don't look. They look like your typical FPS arena usually. So nothing in there is very memorable. Mm-hmm. Although there is one. There is a desert map that I didn't get to play very often. Mm-hmm. And it feels like you're playing in pitch black. Like the movie.
Really?
Because there are these like pterodactyl things that will sweep down and grab people. And I don't know if they grab actual players, but they were sure as shit picking up creeps in front of me where I was thinking, oh shit.
Did you ever shoot one down?
I tried. I tried. So I'm not real sure what's going on with that map, but it's cool. So there's a variety of the maps, but none of the maps are terribly memorable. I didn't think.
And let's see, I guess the last thing would be what game modes are there? How many would you say?
There's
like 6 or something like that?
Yeah, that keeps it fresh. I think there's 5 or 6. There's attrition, which is your typical team deathmatch.
Right.
There is
hardpoint domination.
Which is kind of hold this point until your team, quote unquote, raises the flag, and then run on to the next one. Usually 3 points, A, B, and C.
Okay.
And the longer you control those, the more points that your team gets. There's Pilot Hunter, which is a deathmatch style game, but only the pilot kills.
Get you points?
Get you points, yeah. The Titan kills don't.
Are there still creeps on that? But they just don't.
I think so, but they
add
don't
to your points.
Yeah, they don't add
Okay.
to your points or anything like that. There's Capture the Flag, which
Right.
is pretty self-explanatory, and Last Titan Standing, which everyone starts off.
I
It's
love
fun.
Last Titan Standing.
Yeah, it's fun. Everybody starts off with a Titan, and the team with the last Titan standing wins.
Yep.
So pretty straightforward there. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that covers all of them.
What do you give it? Or is there anything else that you feel like people need to know before we move on to score?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Any bugs? Any
I didn't run into
issues
any
or-
bugs. I didn't run into any crashes or
You
anything
get
like
good
that.
matchmaking online. It was always a fast match. and-
Sometimes that takes a little while.
Okay.
Not usually though.
Okay.
But sometimes it takes a while as you're waiting for people to join the match.
Okay.
That can be frustrating, but I only ran into that every now and then. Overall, it really wasn't a problem. The matchmaking seemed to be pretty almost seamless.
Okay.
So yeah, I give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
I don't care if I ever play it again, but it is a really good game.
Okay.
It's good looking, it's smooth, it's fun. If you like Call of Duty, you're going to love this shit.
Okay.
Because it's like taking Call of Duty, and I know I keep invoking that, but it's impossible not to.
It's like Call of Duty with giant robots, bro.
It really is.
It's Call of Duty with giant robots,
It
bro.
really is.
Okay.
But yeah, if you get your ass handed to you on Call of Duty, you're probably going to get your ass handed to you on Titanfall.
One last question before we finish this up. Should you buy an Xbox One just to play this game?
Yes.
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 Really?
I think so.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
No, okay. You know what?
What? He's backing it up.
I'm
people.
gonna back it up. No, you can still get it on the 360.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you're missing out on much.
Okay.
So, you know what? I'm going to retract that.
Okay.
No.
No.
If
you should
You
not.
can get it on the 360 or on the PC.
Yeah.
If you don't have an Xbox One, this isn't an exclusive. I doubt you're going to be missing out on much by playing it on those other platforms.
Fair enough.
Also, fuck you, Titanfall. I'm done with you making me your bitch. Also, I wish I were good at you.
I don't know if there's any honor left on the frontier. I don't know if there ever was. I just know I'm gonna make them pay.